Hi, I'm Alex from Wilkinson Cameras, and today I'm testing the new Sigma 100-400mm f5 to 6.3 DG/DN OS contemporary lens for Fujifilm X mount. That's a mouthful. This is the 6th Sigma lens for Fujifilm X mount, and it's at a very tempting price point for this focal length. I've also got with me a Fujifilm XF 100-400mm f4.5 to 5.6 R LM OIS WR lens as well. This Sigma is an ultra telephoto zoom lens with optical performance and functionality that Sigma promise will deliver professional quality results, all packed into a fairly lightweight and fairly compact body. And so is the Fujifilm. But at almost half the price of the Fujifilm XF 100-400mm, how does this Sigma compare? Now this is a lot of lens for £900, offering a full frame equivalent of 150 to 600mm. It's certainly going to be a favourite for wildlife and sports photographers who want an all-in-one telephoto zoom lens. I'm actually going to be using this mostly for landscapes today. I really love zoom lenses like this for landscapes. It allows you to go relatively wide, but still capture a scene, but also zoom tight in close to a close-up of an interesting feature. If there's any wildlife, then I'll try my best to get some examples as well. I'm going to be pairing this with an X-T5 today. I'll pop a link below to our review of that camera as well. Sigma are promising professional quality optics in a compact, lightweight body. This version of the lens, which has been around in L mount and Sony FE mount for a while now, features a new AF function setting switch and AF function button, not previously found on the other versions. Sigma are promising sharp images across the zoom range thanks to FLD and SLD elements. It features a 2-mode optical stabilizer, focus limiter switch, and a dual action zoom. The dual action zoom allows both twist and push-pull functionality, thanks to the design and the shape of the lens. I actually really like this feature in the Sigma 60 to 600mm lens, so I think I'm going to enjoy it on this one as well. On longer lenses like this, it just makes it a bit quicker to change focal lengths. First impressions, it feels really nice. It feels good quality. I really like the push-pull zoom. You can twist it, but I just think for this focal length, that is just so useful. It seems to be fast to focus. I've not really tried it on any real moving subjects, and yeah, initial impressions are good. The one thing it is lacking is an aperture ring, which on the X-T5 would be very useful, but it's something you very quickly get used to, and it's half the price of the Fuji, so not gonna have it all. It's dust and splash resistant. The Fujifilm is weather resistant. There's no figures to directly compare the two lenses, but let's assume that they'll both withstand getting caught in the rain or when used with a weather resistant body. The Fujifilm lens is compatible with Fujifilm teleconverters if you need that additional reach, whereas currently for the Sigma, there's no teleconverter available, so that could be something that you want to consider. Another plus point for the Fujifilm is that it does include a tripod mount, whereas this is an optional extra for the Sigma. So the Sigma weighs in at 1,140 grams. The Fujifilm is 1,375 grams, so quite a difference there. Where you are going to see a difference is in the dimensions, the Sigma being 86mm wide versus 94.8 in the Fuji, and lengthwise the Sigma is 197mm versus 210 in the Fujifilm. And obviously there's a difference in aperture, but it's only a third of a stop between them. I don't think this is significant given the price difference. If it was a whole stop, it might be a very different story, but it's a worthy compromise for such a price saving. Speaking of stops, the Sigma features 5 stops of optical image stabilization, which is the same as the Fujifilm. So a couple of things that I've noticed switching between these two lenses today is this one's actually noticeably heavier. Even though it's only, I think, 200 or 300 grams more, it does make a difference. This one, I prefer that it has the push-pull zoom, which you can do with this lens. I can just grab it and pull it, but it's not quite the same. It's not ergonomically designed to do that, I don't think. It's not as natural. They do zoom in opposite directions when you are using the twist, so you do need to bear that in mind. That is something that you'll get used to if you have this lens. Switching between them, it's a bit confusing. Now, what I did notice, and Olivia's been using this lens today as well, is that this seems to be noticeably sharper on the camera. I'm not having to go back to the office and look at the pictures side by side to see that this is sharper. It just looks sharper when you're using it. I don't know, it just looks a bit clearer. It's twice the price. It's going to be a better lens, or at least I assume it is. I've not looked at the pictures yet, but it was quite noticeable, and we both commented on that. And finally, another advantage to the Fujifilm is it's got an aperture ring. I've been using this on the X-T5. I really miss the aperture ring when I switch to this one, because it's just, on this camera in particular, it's something that you do use quite a lot, and it's something that I would like to have seen on this. But again, you would get used to it, and there is a very large price difference between them. So yeah, they're not the same lens. They are quite different in many areas. But this is £899, and this is, I think it's 1,699. I'll have to double check that, but it's almost double, or slightly more than double, the price of this one. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing what the images from this are like.
From that comparison, which do you feel is better?
It's hard to tell. This is a look, isn't it? It's hard to tell. It really is. That previously when I've compared Sigma versus other lenses, I've been able to see quite an obvious colour shift between the two and how the colour renders. I'm not really seeing that here, and despite when I look through the Fujifilm lens, it appears to be sharper in the viewfinder. I can't really see that in the monitor. I don't know if Fujifilm cameras are geared up to favour Fujifilm lenses. I'm not sure, but just looking on the monitor, they're both performing really well. I think this is going to be quite tough, actually. I think it's going to be tougher than I was expecting. I think that's the main obvious differences between the two lenses covered, but what's really going to be the deciding factor is the images. So with that, I'm off to take some photos. I'm going to have to do some pixel peeping on these ones, so I'm going to see you back at the office once I've had a really good look through my images from today. So I've been back to the office, I've had a look through the pictures, and I'll go through some of the differences between them and what I think about the overall lenses, image quality, etc. So we'll start with the build quality. The Fujifilm feels better build quality, more metal. It includes a tripod mount, it's got a lovely aperture ring. It just feels more like a professional lens. The Sigma feels great quality at the price point. It's just not on a par with the Fujifilm, but it certainly doesn't feel cheap or plasticky, and I like the kind of rubber bumper on the end with the focal length stamped in. It's a nice little feature, although this did start to get quite dirty as I was using it throughout the day. I love the push-pull zoom design of the Sigma. It just makes using this long lens so much quicker and easier to hold steady. It also has the advantage of an AF button on the lens itself. The Sigma and Fujifilm zoom in opposite directions, so that does take some getting used to if you're used to the direction of Fujifilm zoom lenses. Overall handling, I think I prefer the Sigma lens. It's smaller, lighter, it's easier to use, especially fully extended. I do wish it had an aperture ring, it is missing that, but overall I think that the Sigma takes that one. The Fujifilm looks sharper through the viewfinder, and in our test shots it does yield sharper images. I would expect this to be the case given the price difference between them, but it doesn't mean to say that the Sigma doesn't give great results. The images are really good quality, they're just not as sharp as the Fujifilm. Both lenses render nice colours and pleasing bokeh. The images from both are very comparable actually. The Fujifilm lens has a linear motor, and in sports and wildlife settings, the added speed of the linear motor and the improved sharpness could prove to be worth the extra spend, particularly for a professional photographer. And I know that we've not included boring target examples and in-depth scientific testing of these lenses. I wanted to give you a more real-life comparison of how you might use them, how an average person might use them to get realistic shots. So, is the Fujifilm lens better than the Sigma? Well, yes, I think it is, but it's almost twice the price of the Sigma 100-400. And I don't think it's twice as good. There's not actually that many telephoto lenses to choose from for Fujifilm X cameras, and certainly none with this focal range or at this sub £1,000 price point. So if you're looking for a super telephoto lens for your Fujifilm camera that doesn't break the bank and doesn't break your back, and most importantly produces really good images, then I would definitely recommend the Sigma 100-400. And I think it's going to be really popular with Fujifilm photographers. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what else Sigma release in an XF mount. So hopefully when they do, we'll be able to review that and you can come and see that. So that is the 100-400 Fujifilm versus the 100-400mm Sigma. Which do you think that you'll be looking to buy? Do you think that the Fuji is worth the extra spend, or do you think the Sigma 100-400 is going to be the next addition to your Fujifilm kit? I'm definitely tempted by the Sigma. I just think it's exceptional value for money. I think Sigma have done really, really well here. So that's what I think of the Sigma 100-400. What do you think? Please let us know in the comments if you've got any questions. We'll always try our best to reply to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll be back soon with some more videos for you. Thanks for watching.